Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has criticised the scene of the captive exchange. His office released a statement, and in it, it says the shocking images that we have seen today will not go unaddressed. Well, let's speak to Marwan Bishara. He's Al Jazeera senior political analyst, joining us live from Doha. Starting with that statement there from Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, saying the shocking images that we have seen today won't go unaddressed. And we've also been hearing from Itamar Ben-Gvir, who used to be part of this coalition government, as well as Bezalel Smotrich, also on the situation of the captives that were released that seem to have lost a lot of weight.
Poor guys losing weight. But I agree with the Israeli Prime Minister. Something got to give here. He and his former defense minister needs to get to The Hague sooner than later in order to address the issue. Because people were starving in Gaza, children were dying of malnutrition, because he weaponized hunger, because he imposed famine and hunger on the people of Gaza. And that's why he, Netanyahu, is sought after by the International Criminal Court for that particular crime against humanity. He's complaining that 3 individuals lost weight when the entire Gaza Strip was put on diet, as the racists in the Israeli government said, by basically making sure that people go hungry for over 15 months. It's not just absurd, it's beyond absurd, it's beyond racist. It's really meant more than anything else to deflect on the fact that the hundreds, now thousands, of the Palestinian prisoners being released slowly but surely have been going through torture, rape, and so many other atrocities in Israeli jails. They complain about 3 individuals losing weight, while the real issue is about the hundreds of thousands of prisoners, Palestinian prisoners, being tortured in Israel's prisons.
And we saw 8 of those today released Palestinian prisoners sent straight away to hospital because of their condition. And in terms of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, he's also within this statement referenced the US President Donald Trump. And I'll just read it out to you, Marwan, because he says, President Trump agrees with me completely. We will do everything to return all of the hostages, but Hamas will not be there. And he says that they will pay the price. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's the plan since October 7. In many ways, Biden also agreed with that. There was the idea in the United States and Israel that October 7 was a breaking point, that Israel should not and need not live no longer with Hamas in existence in Gaza, in control in Gaza, armed in Gaza. So I think that sort of breaking the will of Hamas, breaking Hamas itself, has been the order of the day now for the past 15 months. The problem is that Netanyahu failed. He failed on a number of declared objectives, freeing the hostages, for example, through military means, defeating Hamas, and so on and so forth. He clearly failed, although he did damage Hamas to a large degree. But the theatrical scenes, the performance that we've seen done by Hamas during those exchanges, as we've seen today, kind of rub the Israelis the wrong way, rub Netanyahu the wrong way. In fact, rubs his nose in the dirt, proving once and again that Hamas is not defeated. And hence, I think he needs to say that again and again in order to deflect of the failure that the Israelis are accusing him of when they see these scenes of Hamas fighters parading in Gaza along with the hostages, while Netanyahu basically failed in the declared objective. I must emphasize that he did succeed with the undeclared objective, which is the total destruction of Gaza.
And also in reference to statements, one that Noor al-Day was speaking of earlier, which is by the Israeli military, saying that it will be carrying out operations in the Jordan Valley, occupied West Bank, the Red Sea area, and also the Golan Heights. Of course, we know this is occupied. What are your thoughts on that? Because we have seen a major crackdown, especially since the October 7th attack and the fall of Syria as well, of the Assad regime, rather.
Look, there's no doubt. Yeah, there's no doubt that the day after, as we used to call it, the day after Gaza is the West Bank. And apparently the Golan Heights, now that the Syrians are preoccupied with their own internal issues. Israel is going to be focused on expanding the Golan Heights occupation and deepening its settlements in that occupied Syrian territory that it's annexed back in 1981 and that Trump, in his first term, recognized as an Israeli territory. He illegally recognized the annexation of the Syrian occupied territory. But yes, I think today we're going to see the Israelis, notably Netanyahu, in order to please his fanatic and fascist base, focus on the West Bank and Golan Heights. I've been saying, if you remember, from very, very beginning, that while Gaza might be the major strategic challenge with Hamas being armed and well organized in Gaza, but the strategic reward has always been the West Bank. I really don't think the Israeli government, the Israeli establishment cares for Gaza. It wishes it could cut it off and push it to the sea. What it really cares about is the West Bank and the Golan Heights, because this is what they think would be, securing the settlement of future generation of Israelis. It's the way to secure Israel and to repress the Palestinians and eventually ethnically cleansing them and so on and so forth. So the idea of the river to the sea has meant that Israel only can have sovereignty, and that's already been legislated in the Israeli government, Israeli parliament. And that's why the Palestinians continuously say, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, because Zionism, as we know it today, is imposing Jewish rule over the Palestinians. And in fact, Zionism is responsible for turning the Israelis into the occupiers, the torturers, the tormentors, the racists, the war criminals that many Jews have become because of Zionism in Israel.
Okay, thank you very much, Marwan Bishara, there for his thoughts, senior political analyst with Al Jazeera.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.